Action! Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of the curated journal entries that I made. I being the captain. I'm your captain, yeah. And I'm also your musical entertainment. Okay, what do we have here according to my schedule? We are beginning Act 2 of 2020. Act 2. We have now completed chapters 1 through 5, which is Act 1, which was entitled Prelude to a Storm. Today's episode begins the next 5 chapters of 2020. This one being known as Making Ready. So there are 5 chapters. There will be a reference to the last chapter, chapter 5, in the presentation you're about to hear. Today's segment is entitled Manifest Destiny. You'll find out a little more what is that supposed to mean. Of course, you're probably familiar with the term manifest destiny, but it has a dual meaning in this particular context. And you'll find out more about that in a moment. You'll see some clues here, some clues are here. There's manifest destiny, and that back behind me is Abraham Maslow. You've heard about him before? No? Well, you will. So, manifest destiny is chapter 6, and chapter 7 is called Science Experiments. Chapter 8, Mother's Day. Number 9, Crop Circles. And number 10, Captain Corncob. If you've already read the book, you know what all that means, but these are the chapters of the book that are collected into, that's Act 1, that's Act 2, and you of course will be able to go onto the website and get more information about what I'm talking about, okay, and so that you can follow along better. So without further ado, I present you with myself, the captain, a man from the future, who is going to introduce chapter 6 to you, and the concept of manifest destiny on the one hand, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs and self-actualization on the other. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy today's programming. Hi, welcome to episode 6 of readings from the curated collection of my journal entries made in the future. Today's episode is entitled Manifest Destiny, episode number 6. Captain's Log 20-0006. These were made at the Hermitage Study on a Monday, on a date in the future. I went back and took another look at the last journal entry I just made. Captain's Log, I had started to call them. Communicating with a journal, making entries about things that are happening and that I am thinking about, these are important to someone who is increasingly alone with no one to talk to. Maybe someday there will be another person on the other end of this conversation. They, which would be you, are not able to say anything to me right now, probably never, but they will have read what I had to say. There was one thought, though, that was expressed in that last entry. Yes, those things, thoughts I mean, do come into this otherwise cobweb-riddled head of mine from time to time. It's not a case of beginner's luck, you know. Although, sometimes it might seem that way. That little germ of a thought was like to almost escape notice. I don't know about you, but it did mine up until just now. Here it is. A person can manifest something by sheer force of will. I visualized a man destined to paddle around in his kayak to inspect a blue whale. That was itself a manifestation of someone's intent. Next thing I knew, there I am, marching down to the launch doing exactly what I had manifested myself doing. While I would like to take credit for the idea that someone could manifest themselves to be a person as they visualize themselves to be, in a place that they had likewise conjured up inside their head, that distinct honor belongs to someone else. His name was Harrison, and he taught me these things many years in the past, back in the 20s. That is an important concept, at least to me, when it was taught to me by Harrison. Two concepts are met in this context when we're talking about manifest destiny. One is the idea expressed by Maslow, Abraham Maslow, who developed a theory called hierarchy of needs. It is a pyramid hierarchy of needs that a person has, and the apex of the pyramid is where you will find self-actualization. It's where you, in my way of telling it, manifest yourself. You self-actualize. You become the thing that you aspire to become. All your needs are met, including this one, a need for human development, for human aspiring to a higher plane of existence. That may sound more kind of metaphysical. Talk about that a little more in future episodes, but there's another concept, a little bit more disturbing, and that is this idea that called manifest destiny. It is a, forgive the pun, a manifestation of this idea of becoming what you are destined to be, what your destiny has preordained that you shall, in this case, expand westward throughout the North America, and to they didn't think of it this way perhaps, but to conquer the people that were living there already. They believed that theirs was a superior race, that theirs was a superior way of doing things, and it was manifest to anyone who dared to think about it, to do this thing, which today is, some call American genocide. It is the destruction of the indigenous peoples, their culture, their way of life. It was a ethnic cleansing of peoples by the European invaders, and they nearly succeeded. They drove the people out of where they had lived for thousands of years and pushed them westward onto these desolate pieces of land that, at the moment at least, the Europeans had no use for. And so this is all part of a manifest destiny that was taught to me by Harrison. In Chapter 6, you're going to find other bits of information, including how it was that I came to start wearing a hat like this one, a fisherman's cap, along with these more serious topics such as manifest destiny, self-actualization, and so on. As with many parts of my journal entries, references made to concepts on how to survive by building a sustainable and resilient community. The structures that you build, the places where you live, how you steward the land, wise land stewardship and water stewardship in particular, how to manage water in the right way, how to create your community so that it can sustain itself. It is resilient in the face of the wrath of Mother Nature, and in particular rising sea levels, more intense storms, and those sorts of things. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's talk. You can find out more by going to the website, and also if you're here now and you're watching this, you're on a YouTube channel, and you will find things on below and to the sides where you can view other episodes and other useful information, such as the documentary on Maslow, and also the information about the manifest destiny. Thank you very much for joining me. Please tune in again next week when I will bring you another reading of my curated collection of journal entries made in the future, known as the Novel 2020. Thank you very much. Good day.